Hey guys, and welcome back to another video here on Desolate Planet. I've sorted out the issue, hopefully, with the recording that caused last episode to be laggy. I do thank you for pointing that out. So, in this episode, another thing I was pointing out is a lot of the contraptions that I built, I'm say I'm going to build it and then show it built. I haven't demonstrated what they all look like, how they work, and everything like that. So, the first thing that I want to do in this episode is actually, it's going to be a chill episode where we're not going to get much done. I just want to recap what we have done. So, first thing I want to do is I want to go over all of the contraptions we built. Let's start off with the main thing that powers everything. Now, as you can see, I put dirt a majority of the location everywhere. I do apologize if there's some lag here. I am experiencing it myself. Alright, so let's go over the basic of our machine. Underneath this wooden panel here, you'll see is our windmill. This we built a while ago, and I tweaked some of the settings in the actual create mod itself that allows us to have this generating us in plenty of what's it called? Stuff that we need for each of these moving machines. So SU. This generates us plenty of SU alone, and if we ever have any problems, it is relatively easy to set up. All you do is you make straight lines down, depending on the width and the height, your choice. Hell, you can even do it up or make it actual building that has the windmill on it. I went down under and then I hide it underneath our building blocks, just so that I don't have to see it. Next, we have that, which powers everything. So after that, we have the gear ratioing, which is when you take a gear and you use multiple big, small, big, small, big, small, big, small, in order to increase the speed artificially. There is ways, as we made in the last episode, called the rotation speed thing, which we do have a spare somewhere around here. Let me have a look. Where is it? I'm actually not too sure where it's gone. Maybe I didn't make another one, but we can. So there are ways to make it actual faster without doing the gear ratioing, but this is the cheapest and honestly the best way to do it. Then over here, let me go up here. Again, it is a bit laggy in this area because I think of all the machines. I do apologize for that. Up here we have our lava farm area. Well, lava farm is actually over there where we make all the lava. Over here we have where is the stone farm, is what I meant. We have the lava up here, and then underneath this we have a bunch of drills. As you can see, the kinetic stats are there. We have waterlogged the drills, where you can see, if I come over here, there's a slight bit of water I think you can see. Maybe I'm wrong. But either way, the drills are waterlogged, which is a really cool thing that the creator has allowed us to do. That way, the water will flow out over to here, the lava will drop down onto it and create stone. That means that underneath here, I actually don't need anything. I did put signs because the water does take a bit, as you can see. But you can see here, the water flows out, gets turned into stone, gets mined, and it drops here. Over here, you can see that I need to speed these up if I can. I should probably find a way to actually speed them up a bit nicer than this, because it is a bit slow. I think I can take the higher speed from over there and bring it over. But you can see that these all have a bunch of cobble on top of them that drop down and give us gravel. As you can see, there's a lot of cobble on them. So that is how we get our infinite stone, our infinite cobblestone specifically, and our infinite gravel. We then have all of these conveyor belts, which are linked up to the same area here, that go running down this way. Over here, to corner them all into like these 2x area, we have the conveyors going sideways into those. Those then go into here, giving us our storage system. As you can see, we also have the crushed copper and stuff that I did earlier when I was farming copper. But you can see we have a ton of sand, we have a ton of cobble again, and we have just a ton of gravel, just a ton of near everything. Here we can see that sand is still being done, but gravel is now going. This is going off of our previous one conveyor over here. This then gets powered over here, and this goes up to here, which powers the mechanical presses. There are 2 mechanical presses and 2 basins. The mechanical presses both get powered here, and then the belts actually get powered down here. This one gets powered over there, and this belt over here gets powered from this one. As you can see, this is running the same way, but by adding this here, it runs the other way. This belt is being run by that there. So we can see it goes by here, runs over there. That way it is rotating properly, going that way. So all of these gearboxes set the rotation. of all of our different belts. It's the same reason why we have a bunch of unnecessary ones here. It's just to control all of the different rotations for this. This is also pretty simple, runs off of the same line, and it powers all three of these using the simple method. Then the way the belt is powered is it comes over to here, powers this one here, and you can see I have an extra shaft here, which powers this, powering all of the rest in there. This one here powers here, this one here powers here, and this one here powers that. I set this one here simply to get this one to rotate the correct way. So each one of these have a specific purpose. Then we have this over here, which is being powered from there, which was our main area that I was going to work off in the beginning and immediately basically abandoned. So I'm happy to give it some work. Over here, it also powers our mechanical press, and this over here is powering the mechanical mixer. The mixer has a blaze burner underneath, which we captured a blaze from our most nearby area here. They spawn in, I believe, this house here and a few other housing. So we captured a blaze, and you feed it coal or anything, and it heats up the basin, which, as you can see, allows us to get brass, which I was in desperate need of earlier. Then we have our depot for the mechanical press over there. And off of the same system right over here, we have this, which powers all of these. Now, these don't need to be fast, so don't waste a lot of your SU on these. Hello. That's a bit rude, isn't it? You mind? Hey, you broke my armor piece. Either way, this all gets powered by this system right here. Again, all running off of the one. Then it comes over to here, a little cogwheel, which goes out there, and this powers all of these. This has to be going down this direction in order to cause a pushing force on our fans. Don't mind the broken thing there. I do want to actually increase the speed here, and now that I can afford a actual speed enhancer, I'm probably going to do just that, because these going so slow does affect the speed at which your things get affected. Then we have a belt running from here all the way through. This is the max distance a belt is allowed to reach, hence why I have two of them. They run all the way through to here, which powers our sorting system for the mob farm. Now, this works quite simply. There's some hoppers in there that get the drops and then drop it onto the belt. The belt then runs through this, which has a ton of filters. So on each end of these, there's a filter. Well, not each end. So this end doesn't have a filter here because it allows things to then go through, which will filter out over here and over here. And then same story for this. This over here is the only thing that has a filter because it'll go in here and get tossed if it is not accepted through that, which is a very few amount of items. And then as we can see here, we have our filters all working their magic, gathering us a bunch of gunpowder, a bunch of bones, some chicken, and then a bunch of random other junk, really. Over here, we have essentially the connector to the tree farm. So the tree farm gets connected through this little area here because it's easier than building all the way back from there to here. So we have it go underground. It runs a pipeline straight through here. It does have, funnily enough, some gear ratioing that happens because I thought that this was too fast. I felt that it made the tree go spin too fast, and I don't really like it when these move super quickly. Again, I do apologize. I am noticing that a lot of the contraptions does cause the videos, including my game, to lag a little bit, so we might have to optimize it soon enough, but I'll find a way to do all of that off camera. The way that this works is through a mechanical press. I actually do want to make it so that I can toggle this on and off, but I'll just explain it simply for now. There's a mechanical contraption, I believe it's called, underneath here. You can see it right there. So that alone causes the spinning rotational force. The reason why all of these move at the same thing is because of the glue, which you can't see on it while it's an active thing, but you can, if I were to pause it, you would be able to see it quite fine. Essentially, there is glue slots on each one of these blocks, including each one of the hands that are holding all of them together. The bottom parts are saws, which you can make very simply, and then the top part are a little bit more expensive as they require brass. So those are places which we used also over there again, and those are what place down the saplings. On the side of it, if I were to pause it again, you would see that each of the arms have a alternating sapling of oak and spruce. That allows me to get this pattern without having the 4x4 spruces attempt to grow, which does cause some issues when it comes to optimizing the farm. Having a 1x1 is much more efficient. As you can see, they grow even at night, which is actually kind of odd. I didn't know they could do that, which, it's kind of cool. Then we have the door system over here. So the door system is a bit more complicated. It's actually what we are mainly utilizing for the controller right now. It's the whole reason I built it. The door system uses these. These are the redstone links, along with sequenced gear shifts, which allow us to input a sequence. As you can see, this one opens up forwards and then backwards. That way it opens and then closes, while this one goes backwards and forwards because it is on a different, it has to turn a different way. Otherwise, it would go, that one will go this way, and this one would turn that way because it would follow the same route. Then underneath here, actually before I leave, I get to show off. This is where we have our rotational speed controller. This is what I need to go and put by that other place. But you can see it is connected by a huge number of different gearboxes because I needed to get it to connect here. I could actually optimize this better and use way less gearboxes, but I don't really need to. I have the ability to make as many of these as I want, so I'm not too stressed by it, and I'm comfortable spending all of this. If you guys are stressed on the resources, there's plenty of ways to optimize the contraptions that I built, as all of these are kind of built as a state of a hurry, as I just want to get them done and move on to the cool next project. You can see here we have our mechanical bearings. This is what is being controlled by these, and both of those are being controlled by the redstone, the link controller, which is right here. So that's how the doors work. I believe we have 2 more to show off, and then we can move on to what I want to do, which is just a nice chill building of the walls. So over here we have the crop farm. Now this is, I won't lie, this is rather inconvenient. The way that I did this was because of how I used to do it in the past. It's what kind of like set me off on doing it. Essentially, in the past, the way that I made the crop farm was on a server that required you to be very careful with how many create machines you made and how intensive they were. So as you can see here, this is a very chill one. It goes back and it goes forward and back. And that's a lot less intensive on the server and obviously your computer than like that one, which is constantly spinning, as it basically stops until it spins again. The only problem with this one is that I can't exactly harvest any of these super glue. What? Why is it just, huh? Let's get rid of that. Right, anyway. I can't harvest these. I could put plows on, which will harvest them, but the ship being in the way kind of stops that. So I manually come by and harvest the melons and the the pumpkins. And then I also kind of always forget that I have this, which I should start paying a lot more attention to. So either way, the way that this one works is, I believe it's here. No, here. Yes, here it is. So you can see here we use a powered toggle latch onto a gear shift. The gear shift isn't like the other one. It doesn't let me control anything other than the direction. So this, when powered, rotates this, making it go the opposite direction, which is a lot better when you're trying to do like gear boxes and stuff like that, if you're trying to get it compact. So this is a compact version. That then runs up to here using 2 different gearboxes, and it allows me to control how the gantry shaft turns, which is actually the, again, if you have the ability to and you don't want to do gantry shafts, you can do just do your spinning mechanism. It's a lot better, and it automatically keeps it going for you, whereas here I have to manually select when I want this harvested. So yeah, that's this. And then the last one is, to be honest, a machine that's a lot more complicated just because of how high up I put it. Essentially, it's very similar to that one there. It has a lava source. It has, I think four, a total of 4 drills anyway. I think it might be either a total of 4 drills or a total of 8, where there's lava sources up there and lava sources over there, and they get mined, pushed down onto a little conveyor belt, kind of like any of those. That then drops it into the center. So that'll be cobblestone gets dropped down onto, actually, sorry, I forgot. It gets dropped down onto those little, let me see if I can get up here. Oh, yeah, there we go. So it'll get dropped onto those there. And then those turn it into gravel, and then it gets dropped down into a major little thing, which is the crushing wheels, which crushes them into sand. So that's how we actually obtain our infinite sand, and sometimes sandstone, which is extremely important to us because that's how we will get all of our stuff for eventually a much better storage system. So that is all of the create machines. In the future, I plan to make this a more staple way of how I'm going to show off all of the create machines and how I'm going to attempt to show off basically everything I do off camera. Because I'm kind of leaving you guys in the dark, which is just as a way to try and keep the episodes going. But like I said, I wanted to actually keep this one a bit more calm and probably explain everything that I keep on going over like quick. So even now that it's actually daytime, I can even show off the way that our doors open thanks to our machine underneath. So you can see it opens nice and wide and nice and slow. I kept the slow instead of making it just instant quick. I much preferred the actual slowness of it as it adds to the looks and everything of the whole doorway. Eventually, when this is big, I also want to add on some really cool designs and stuff onto the doorway. So that way, when we come through or come back from an epic adventure, we get to open it and watch as this huge citadel door opens and we get led into Sanctuary. That's the main reason why I also want really tall building, because I don't want anything from the Sanctuary to be revealed. I also don't want anything from the outside to be viewed inside the Sanctuary. Hence why I'm also replacing all of the dust inside with dirt. I could have done a much faster, much simpler cobblestone, made it look like a whole underground kingdom, but I'm not going to lie, I mainly just wanted to have it look like a sanctuary. I'm also going to get rid of this so that it looks like we are ready to stay here forever. This actually took me a lot longer to do, so I'm gonna save all the building part. That is really boring. That's me just running up and down, making sure I'm building blocks, making sure I'm building it right, stuff like that. But I am still looking for some wall design suggestions. Right now, a majority of the reason why I haven't completed this is because I don't have any suggestions from you guys. I am currently looking for those though. So if you guys have any suggestions, let me know. I've left another Discord link in the comments down below. So if you're interested in joining the Discord and are interested in sending me the links that way, there you go. If you want to show me images and stuff, there is appropriate channels in the Discord and everything. But that's where I'm actually going to leave off this episode. So thank you all for watching. I hope you guys are a lot more you guys have a better understanding of all of the machines and how I've built them all, and I hope this was very helpful to those who wanted to know. As always, thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoy, and of course, I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.